Sidetracks. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Sidetracks, tangents, and that's a metaphor for life. I'm Ray of Sunshine. I love that you're here with me today. So tangents is one of the things I'm going to talk about. And, I was thinking about whether that was a good presentation to rely on tangents, which I do. If you've seen, if you know how I talk, you know that I go off on tangents. And if you don't know, you're about to find out. I go off on tangents. But that's a metaphor for life. Um, we often go off on tangents. Everything doesn't always end up in the same way that we might have imagined it at one time, or at least that's the way it's been a lot in the old energy. And so, thinking about that differently is one of the things that we're focusing on now in the new world energy. So I almost thought about naming this series Tangents because I go off on tangents. And that's why sometimes, I have a commitment kind of like to myself that I'm not going to do these videos that are going to go on for hours and hours, and because I want to keep you wanting more. I don't want to keep you, I don't want you to be saying, when's this guy ever going to shut up? These are like 20, 25-minute videos, and I may never get back. If I go off on a tangent, I may never get back to the original path that I started off on. Or at least not, maybe not in this video, because when it's time to go, it's time to go. And I may get to it at another time, maybe at a time when you're ready to be receptive to whatever that message was. But anyway, so when it comes to tangents, I decide that there's somebody that needs to hear what this tangent is all about. So I go with it. And so I even thought about, geez, maybe I'll call this tangents. But who would know what any of that means, right? So nobody would click on it. So my other commitment is to do something different so that I get used to doing something different. And the reason that's important in this energy is because we got so different coming up that we're not going to be able to handle it unless we're acclimated to different. So now's the time to focus on doing something different, thus me making a YouTube video, and all kinds of other things. Me drinking tea for breakfast. Different, just intentionally different to get used to a lot of different dropping in, because that's what we're going to have to be getting used to, is different. For another example is somebody just told me that I talk too fast, and I know people have been telling me all my life that I talk too fast, and I talk fast. And the reason for that is because I think so I can get more in. There's like, if a thought is coming out, but there's another thought on top of it. Well, in order to get both of those in, I probably have to speak twice as fast to get twice as much information in. But I'm doing things differently these days just to see how it feels to have so much different, and I'm contributing to that, just like contributing to fun. How can you have too much fun? What would be the limit on fun? What would happen if you had too much fun? Like what would fall down from the sky and hurt you in some way? You can't have too much fun, just like you can't have too much happy. So why not spend time contributing? Add stuff to the happy bin. The happy bin, it doesn't work right. Most of the time, the way physics works is you put something in, and it gets heavier and it goes down. Well, happiness doesn't work that same way. The more happiness that you add to the bin, the lighter it gets, and the lighter it gets, the lighter you feel. And the lighter you feel, the lighter it gets. And it just keeps getting lighter instead of getting heavier. It keeps getting lighter instead of being dark. So that's what this energy is all about. So anyway, that's the reason I speak too fast, but and sometimes that's going to happen because I have a lot to get in, but sometimes we just have to learn to accept things about ourselves. I was looking at my granddaughter was saying to me, "Hey, Grandpa, what's that hole in your head?" Because I have this. I'm not going to show. I'm not going to give you a close up. Don't worry. But I have this little like this is an indentation that's in my forehead that I've had for a long time, and I used to go out and like get either these little chalky kind of things, the little things in tubes or things in bottles, like to match the same color of your skin, so I could cover it up so it just wouldn't wouldn't get attention. But now the way I look at it is, well, how many people have a hole in their head, right? So that makes me pretty special. I have a hole in the head. In fact, I don't have a single tattoo on my body, so maybe I'll just get a tattoo on my forehead with an arrow pointing to the hole in my head. Because the way I'm looking at it is it's something to celebrate. Difference. And difference is something that in the old energy, I found myself a lot of times being caught in. I don't like different. I kind of like people that think the same way that I do, and people that act the same way that I do, and different is uncomfortable. So, in order to do something different, to get used to something different, I am looking at all kinds of different things with appreciation. Just appreciating the difference. Wouldn't life be boring if let's say there was a billion people out there that exactly a billion rays of sunshine? That'd be kind of boring, I think. So it's about learning to and focusing on appreciating the diversity. Also, I wanted to mention that I appreciate your tolerance and your patience while I'm developing this video series because, there's value. Let me tell you one of the values of doing these videos that I'm doing right now. In a year from now, I don't know if you saw my birthday video. It's within the past couple of days, and it's called Party Time. So, and it's one of those first videos, maybe number 3. Well, and now I'm doing number 5, so it wasn't all that long ago. But anyway, if you haven't seen that video, you could check it out, and you'll find that I guess on my homepage, when I look at people's homepages, they have playlists. So there'll be a playlist there, and it'll be way at the beginning of the playlist, no doubt, along next to my pilot video. And if you haven't seen my pilot video, you're going to want to check that out. It has a similar theme, although I don't really talk about this particular aspect of it on that video, but that is a video about a tangent that happened in my life. And during that period of time, that span that I talk about in the video, I was in prison. And that was one of the favorite sayings of one of the guards there, that I would look better with a hole in my head. So it's funny that that particular theme is going like, hey, I want to show you before it dies. See, there's my moon, and I have it turned on blue. And I usually, when I turn it on, it's more, I don't know if you can tell on the video there, but that's blue as compared, like, see, these are like a goldish dim color, and this is a brighter blue. So that is not only to celebrate the eclipse because the light wasn't working on eclipse day, but and that energy is going to continue on for months and months and months. So I continue to celebrate it over and over again because I'm celebrating change. And stepping into the unknown. And that also is something that is different for me because what I used to allow to happen is that I could avoid stepping into the unknown by just listening to my fears. and my fears would dictate what I would allow in my life. And now what's developing is my lack of fear and my enthusiasm and love for fun takes precedence over that. And the way that developed is by focusing on it, you know? And I've talked about some of these things in my other video about royalty and feeling like royalty, and when and where that whole concept came from. And so anyway, if you haven't seen my birthday video, go check it out, because in a year from now, when you're looking at my birthday video, which by the way doesn't celebrate getting older, because that concept doesn't exist anymore. But it does celebrate reaching other milestones. And if you don't remember next year on my birthday, I'll remind you to come back and look at this year's birthday video. And I bet you won't even recognize that it's the same person. You wouldn't even believe it's the same person unless you saw it with your own eyes. And I probably won't even believe it either. So that's one of the values of doing these. I mean, and the early videos you have to have early videos before you can have later videos. And I want to let you know that I appreciate your tolerance while I'm going through the growing stages of becoming a great YouTuber. So thanks for your patience and your tolerance while I am stepping into the unknown. So let me continue showing you around here a little bit, because I picked this corner to sit in because there's a lot of there's moons, several moons. In fact, there's another moon. There's one right above my head here, and I'm just going to tilt the camera to show you way up there. See, way up there. That's the moon. I'm going to tell you about that moon, and I'm going to tell you about that angel in just a second. I'm going to put this back down. That moon, I took that, I don't even know how long ago, but it was earlier in the millennium. I think it was before they even called them supermoons, but this was a supermoon. And, it was like I was out on my porch and I could just practically touch it. It was one of those kind of moons. So I took a picture of that. And the other thing is an angel, and that angel used to belong to my husband Sid. And, the interesting thing about the angel popping into my awareness today is that it was also popping into my awareness yesterday, because Sid, and if you haven't met Sid, yet, go to that pilot video, Why Me? Okay, because that'll be a good introduction to him over there. So anyway, as I told you before, Sid used to speak to the dead, and he still talks across the veil now. So yesterday he was with my sister, and my sister was preparing. She was preparing for a graduation party at her house, and she was just having a difficult time and misplacing things. So Sid, my husband, who passed away in 2015, he was there. She was telling me he was there with her all day, and every time that she misplaced something, she's saying, "Geez, I knew I think where I had left it in the closet. I thought it was here for sure." And then she'd look over, and there it was. And then same thing with the next item and the next catastrophe and whatnot. And every time that something would be revealed, Sid would give her a little smile and just say, "You're welcome." And that happened all day. So, that to me, Sid being on the other side, I kind of consider him to be, I describe him as an angel. Just like he would describe me as a human. Yeah, there's some kind of context that you figure somebody's in, and so he was kind of like, I think, and that's what angels do, or at least that's the concept I have of angels. They help out, and I always felt, after Sid passed away, that a lot of times I would think, Jesus, it's too bad that he's not here for the expansion of the planet, but he is, and he's helping from the other side. So that was one thing that I realized. And the other stuff I have going on is a lot of stars. Besides all the stars that are going here, up there in that corner, that is a map of the stars in the sky because I have a star that's named after me. It's called X-ray vision is the name of it. And actually, when I'm not ray of sunshine, sometimes I'm X-ray vision. But anyway, and that's the name of the star, and it's up there in Gemini, and that's a map of it. So anyway, there's a whole lot of stars in this area that I'm in right now. And one of the things I wanted to talk stars was one of my themes for today because I was thinking about when I think about Sirius. Interestingly enough, I sometimes think about Sirius, Sirius, which is a star up in the sky, and I also think about a lot about which. In fact, I pulled this off the wall because my star theme, and it says climb high, climb far, your goal the sky, your aim the stars. And to me, wishing upon a star is always a fun thing, and it's easy to do too. Like in my case, I got lots of stars all the time to kind of stimulate me. But even if you look at a star in the sky, it's a reminder to maybe wish upon a star. And Sirius would be a Sirius star to wish upon, if for no other reason, because it's fun. And so Sirius actually is one of it is the largest star in our night sky, and it's destined to remain so for the next 120 million years, according to the predictions of scientists. But Sirius is pretty far away. It's not even in our galaxy. It's in the next galaxy over. And it's reportedly 5 times the size of our sun and 25 times brighter. So, if you think you needed eye protection for the eclipse the other day, you'd need Sirius eye protection for Sirius. Anyway, so, it's the brightest star up there, and it's a fun star to make wishes upon. And, when I make wishes, I make wishes for fun along the way, because the fun and the enjoyment and the happiness is just not in reaching the final product, reaching the goal, reaching the destination, or even defining what that destination is. The fun is the process that we go in along the way. And I'm thinking about the processes that are happening for me now. And, as far as I'm concerned, I'll try anything or close to it. Sid and I used to go off on a lot of tangents together, and I'll be telling you some of those. But you know what? I want to give you a final reminder before I give you your final message that it's time to do something different. And one suggestion I have for you is, besides sending this video to someone that you would normally send it to, try sending it to someone who you wouldn't normally send it to. Do something different to discover something different about you. It's playtime. Create you.